Have you ever listened closely to the sound of rain in My Neighbor Totoro? It isn't just background noise. The sound designers carefully recorded natural water drops landing on leaves, layering them to create an atmosphere that feels almost touchable. This small detail tells us everything about Studio Ghibli's philosophy. The world on screen must feel alive. Every sound, every brushstroke, every moment matters. This attention to detail is more than just technique. It is a philosophy. It's the reason Studio Ghibli's films have captivated audiences for decades and continue to inspire generations. Studio Ghibli was founded in June 1985, born from the creative synergy of three visionaries: Hayao Miyazaki, Isao Takahata, and producer Toshio Suzuki. The success of Miyazaki's earlier film Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind, 1984, convinced them that a permanent studio could produce truly ambitious animated works. The name Ghibli comes from the Italian word for a desert wind, symbolizing their wish to blow a new wind through the animation industry. From the beginning, their mission was clear: to prove that animation was not just children's entertainment, but a powerful art form capable of addressing human emotions, environmental concerns, and social realities. Studio Ghibli films are instantly recognizable. Each frame feels like a painting: lush forests, glowing skies, quiet villages, or bustling towns. Their style reflects both Japanese cultural roots and a universal sense of wonder. The Ghibli style emphasizes atmosphere over spectacle. The animators spend enormous time on small details: the steam from a teacup, laundry blowing in the wind, or the way shadows move as clouds pass over the sun. This approach is tied to the Japanese concept of ma, the beauty of pauses, emptiness, and silence. Ghibli is not afraid of quiet moments, allowing the viewer to breathe within the story. Nature, too, plays a central role. Forests are sacred, rivers are alive, and animals are often as important as human characters. This reflects Shinto traditions, but also carries a global message: respect for the environment is essential. Hayao Miyazaki, the dreamer. Miyazaki's films are rich with imagination and moral complexity. His heroines are strong, curious, and compassionate. His worlds combine fantasy with real-world concerns: environmentalism in Princess Mononoke, consumerism in Spirited Away, and the absurdity of war in Howl's Moving Castle. Miyazaki's career has been marked by several retirements, each followed by a return. His restless creativity refuses to be contained. Even in his 80s, he continues to create. Isao Takahata, the realist. Takahata brought a different sensibility to Ghibli. His masterpiece, Grave of the Fireflies, is a raw, unflinching portrait of children in wartime Japan. His Only Yesterday explored the inner life of a woman reflecting on her childhood, resonating with adult audiences who rarely saw themselves represented in animation. The Tale of the Princess Kaguya, 2013, was his final gift, hand-drawn in a style inspired by traditional ink paintings, proving that even at the end of his career, he was still innovating. Goro Miyazaki, the next generation. Hayao's son, Goro Miyazaki, entered the studio later. His works, including From Up on Poppy Hill, 2011, and Earwig and the Witch, 2020, show a different perspective. Though his fully CGI film divided fans, it demonstrated Ghibli's willingness to explore new approaches. My Neighbor Totoro, 1988. A story of two young sisters discovering magical creatures in the countryside. Totoro himself has become a cultural icon, appearing on merchandise worldwide and serving as Ghibli's official mascot. Grave of the Fireflies, 1988. Released as a double feature with Totoro, this heartbreaking film remains one of the most powerful anti-war statements in cinema. Its quiet realism leaves audiences deeply moved. Kiki's Delivery Service, 1989. A warm, coming-of-age story about a young witch learning independence and self-confidence. It captures the universal struggle of growing up and finding one's place in the world. Princess Mononoke, 1997. One of Ghibli's most ambitious works, portraying a fierce conflict between humans and the natural world. It refuses simple answers, instead presenting moral complexity. Spirited Away, 2001. Perhaps Ghibli's most famous film, it tells the story of Chihiro navigating a magical bathhouse. With its themes of identity, greed, and courage, it won the Academy Award for Best Animated Feature in 2003 and remains a landmark in global cinema. Howl's Moving Castle, 2004. A fantastical story blending romance, transformation, and pacifist critique. Inspired partly by opposition to the Iraq War, Miyazaki used the film to make a subtle political statement. Ponyo, 2008. A reimagining of The Little Mermaid, filled with childlike energy and visual wonder. Ponyo's hand-drawn waves and ocean scenes showcase Ghibli's unmatched artistry. The Wind Rises, 2013. A fictionalized biography of Jiro Horikoshi, designer of the Zero fighter plane. It explores the tension between artistic creation and its use in war. Announced as Miyazaki's final film at the time, it was deeply personal. The Tale of the Princess Kaguya, 2013. Takahata's masterpiece, using a unique hand-drawn style. It retells a classic Japanese folktale with beauty and sorrow, earning an Oscar nomination. When Marnie Was There, 2014. Directed by Hiromasa Yonebayashi, this film tells a delicate, mysterious story of friendship and memory. It was initially thought to be Ghibli's last feature before the studio's temporary pause. The Boy and the Heron, 2023. Miyazaki's return from retirement, a deeply symbolic and personal story. In 2024, it won the Academy Award for Best Animated Feature, making Miyazaki the first person to win the Oscar for 2 different animated films. Ghibli's films are the result of painstaking work. Animators drew thousands of frames by hand, often working late into the night. This labor created warmth and imperfection that digital tools alone cannot replicate. By the late 1990s, digital tools were cautiously introduced. Princess Mononoke was the first to use digital compositing, but traditional hand drawing remained at the core. Ghibli never allowed technology to overwhelm its artistry. Instead, it enhanced it. Financially, the studio faced challenges. In 2014, after When Marnie Was There, production temporarily paused due to uncertainty about the future. Many feared the end of Ghibli. But in 2017, Miyazaki returned to work, revitalizing the studio and eventually leading to The Boy and the Heron. Studio Ghibli's films have reached audiences worldwide. Spirited Away became Japan's highest-grossing film, holding the record until 2020. My Neighbor Totoro has become a global symbol of innocence and imagination. The 2020 release of Ghibli films on Netflix outside the US and Japan, and on HBO Max within the US, brought their works to millions of new viewers. Ghibli's influence extends beyond film. Video games like Ni no Kuni carry their artistic fingerprints, and animators worldwide cite Miyazaki as an inspiration. Pixar, Disney, and countless independent creators have drawn from Ghibli's example. The Ghibli Museum in Mitaka, Tokyo, remains a beloved destination. In 2022, Ghibli Park opened in Aichi Prefecture. By 2025, it has grown into a major cultural landmark, with areas inspired by Totoro, Spirited Away, and Princess Mononoke. The Boy and the Heron reaffirmed Miyazaki's genius and proved that Ghibli remains vital. Goro Miyazaki continues to explore new directions. Fans wonder if another film is on the horizon, as Miyazaki still sketches daily ideas, despite once calling this film his final work. In 2025, Studio Ghibli stands as both a living creative force and a guardian of its own legacy. The museum, the park, and ongoing exhibitions ensure that Ghibli's art will continue to be celebrated by future generations. Studio Ghibli is not just a studio, it is a philosophy. Its films celebrate childhood curiosity, human resilience, and the sacredness of nature. They confront war, greed, and loss, yet always leave us with hope. From Totoro's smile to the haunting imagery of Grave of the Fireflies, Ghibli films remain etched into our cultural memory. As of October 2025, the legacy of Studio Ghibli is stronger than ever. It continues to inspire artists, delight audiences, and remind us that the magic of animation lies not in spectacle, but in the quiet truths of being human.